And then what'd he say? And then what you do? Ooh, girl, I would have died.
It is the only food that koalas eat. They have no natural protein.
No way! Stop it! Oh my!
The word marsupial is from the
I know. Yeah. What? Oh, I'm just making some milkshakes. Milkshake.
paws with claws adapted for climbing in the country of Australia.
Watch your show on any TV in your house with Iris, the new HD multi-room DVR from Rev TV. Start watching in one room and pick up right where you left off in another. Call to get Iris in your house today.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into MB12 Weekend, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, the Christian Council president changes his stance on the gender equality referendum. The family of yesterday's suicide victim struggling to cope. The F&M says that will fail. We chat with the newly crowned Miss Bahamas Queen, how a stage play hopes to raise awareness of bullying and domestic violence. I'm Paige McCartney, and we've got those stories and more straight ahead on MB12 Weekend. Welcome once again to MB12 Weekend. Bahamas Christian Council President Ranford Patterson said he will vote in the upcoming constitutional referendum despite his prior comment that he would do otherwise. He's also encouraging all Bahamians to vote as well. The reason? The Fourth Amendment bill that speaks to sex discrimination in the Constitution. He questioned if the government may have an underlying agenda. Dana Smith reports.
Patterson explained it's the Fourth Amendment bill in particular that has inspired him to vote. That bill has already been a point of contention for some who questioned if it will pave the way for gay marriage. Now, Patterson did not specifically say that, but he suggested it's an issue.
The questions, I believe, require that Bahamians participate, particularly that fourth question. We can start off by saying discrimination based on sex. But when I Googled the United States Constitution as it relates to discrimination based on sex, and there's a whole lot of other stuff that's involved in that. If you look at the US Constitution as it relates to discrimination based on sex, it's not just man and woman. It goes deeper than that.
The upcoming constitutional referendum seeks to institute full equality between men and women in matters of citizenship. If passed, Amendment Bills 1 and 2 will give Bahamian women the same rights as Bahamian men to pass on citizenship, while Bill number 3 will give Bahamian men the same rights as Bahamian women to pass on citizenship. Bill number 4 seeks to make it unconstitutional for any law or any person acting in the performance of any public office to discriminate based on sex, despite the government noting it has no intention of making same-sex marriage legal. DNA leader Granville McCartney said Tuesday the government should be careful of the wording used in the referendum. He said if the wording is wrong, it could allow for same-sex marriage. On Thursday, LGBT activist Aaron Green, though supportive of the bills, noted this bill will not automatically enact or sanction gay marriage. She said gay marriage has nothing to do with the referendum. Despite his prior insistence that he will not vote in future referenda because the government has now decided to act against the results of last January's gambling referendum, Patterson said this issue is too important to ignore.
With the questions that's on the table, there's no way in hell I'm going to not let my voice be heard in this referendum. My hope is that they adhere to this one.
It's worth noting this referendum is binding and the government will adhere to its results. Asked if the Christian Council will launch a similar mass campaign for the issue of gender equality as they did for the issue of gambling, Patterson said he would have to meet with his colleagues and discuss that issue. He said he cannot speak on behalf of anyone else, but he noted he believes everyone is equal and deserving of the same rights. He explained his colleagues have similar beliefs and he's not expecting arguments on the first 3 bills. But as it relates to the 4th, he wants the government to make it clear if there's any underlying agenda.
We'll meet with my committee shortly. Like I said, we believe in that all of us are equal under the law. And so I don't think you're getting any arguments from us on that. The challenge we have, if there is any underlying agenda, and that's why it's so important for us to read the questions again, go over the questions again, and try to figure out what exactly are we trying to accomplish by the questions that are being asked of us.
Prime Minister Perry Christie has said gay marriage is not something his administration will address. And in the House of Assembly, after tabling the bills, he noted the Matrimonial Causes Act will void any marriage if the parties are not respectively male and female. Reporting for NB12 Weekend, I'm Dana Smith.
A family is left to mourn the loss of its loved one who appeared to have taken his own life Saturday morning. Family members of 25-year-old Kelvin Strawn say they were searching for answers as they try to understand exactly what led Kelvin to commit suicide. Simone Davis has the story.
According to reports, at around 2:30 a.m., police received information of an apparent suicide here on Baldwin Avenue off Farrington Road. Police arrived at the scene and discovered the lifeless body of Kelvin Strawn, who was seen hanging by a cord from a tree. He was pronounced dead on the scene, and now his family wants answers.
Kelvin always tell me everything. He didn't even tell me he's gonna kill himself. He told me everything. He told me.
That's the grieving cry of Kelvin's sister, Sherry Strawn, as she tries to cope with the reality of her brother being gone. Kelvin's aunt, Annalie Dame, says she was in total shock when she learned of his death and was in disbelief when she heard that it was an apparent suicide.
When his friends came here knocking on my window this morning, 3:30 this morning, to tell me if I know Kelvin dead, I tell them no, I believe that. I went to see for myself, but I can't see the body. They already got it covered. When I reached there, the hearse was there already. When they say go around the next side, when I go around the next side, the hearse was leaving, whereas I coming in. And nobody said nothing to me yet. He's a boy, is like trying to motivate himself. He never say look down on himself. He always trying to uplift himself, always trying to find scheme or another scheme. That's why I don't understand kill himself, because it's puzzling me. It really is puzzling me to find out that he actually killed himself.
Kelvin's grandmother, Florence Rose, says she doesn't know what to believe because she can't think of any possible reason why her grandson would want to take his own life when he seemed so happy just the day before.
I don't know what happened or what ain't happened. All I know is say to hang in the tree. Who knows? Only God one could tell me that. It's so sad. He was in a good spirit yesterday, up spirit, good spirit. And to hear on news, it's a shocking news. I just can't take it. I have plenty of grandchildren. First one died. It's so hard inside. I keep thinking and thinking about it. But I'm asking God to give me more strength that I may get through this. It never was nothing like this hard to me in my life. It's hard, it ain't easy now. And I ain't doing too good. I ain't doing too good at all.
Though according to the initial investigation, police believe that this incident appeared to be a suicide. They said an autopsy would be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. Police say investigations are ongoing. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
And police are asking for help from the public as they investigate a shooting and a stabbing overnight. Reports are that a man was sitting on the front porch of his Martin Street home at around 9:30 last night when a gunman approached and shot him in the abdomen. The culprit ran away. Police say the victim is in serious condition in hospital. And then a short while later, at around 10 p.m., a man was walking along Marshall Road when a group of men beat him up and stabbed him in the head with an unknown object. That victim is in stable condition at hospital, according to police. And police say they've taken a number of people into custody in relation to murders and armed robbery. According to police, a 17-year-old male was arrested Friday on West Street in connection to a murder that occurred through a tracked road between Fleming and Dunmore Streets last week, Saturday. And police say 2 other men, ages 30 and 28, were arrested in the Kemp Road area on Friday for questioning in relation to a murder that occurred in bushes off Cowpen Road on July 15th. And 4 men, ages 21, 20, and 19, were all taken into custody Friday at Rupert Dean Lane in connection with a recent armed robbery, according to police. Police say they recovered 2 motorbikes that were allegedly stolen during an armed robbery. In all of those arrests, officers of the Flying Squad unit were acting on intelligence, according to police. And shifting gears now, a mother is left distraught after her son was admitted to Princess Margaret Hospital 2 years ago for a minor procedure after suffering an asthma attack and then came out paralyzed, blind, and brain damaged. Sharon Hanna says her then 4-year-old son, Disuraji Hanna, affectionately called Raji, was able to walk and had perfect vision when he was admitted, and she and her family were left devastated when a disabled child was given back to her.
For 2 years now, it's been hunting me, and I can't take it no more. It's not easy lifting up this little boy, and he's actually back in Pampers all over again. He can't go to school. I'm not happy. I'm a mother, and I can't take it. It's making me feel like I want to go crazy because this is not an easy situation to deal with a little boy like this. He was never in Pampers, but now he's actually in Pampers. Even taking him out with me to work, changing him, isn't an easy situation. This little boy didn't born like this. I took him into the hospital for one procedure. One procedure. When he went in there, he was walking and running. They gave him back to me in a wheelchair and blind. You understand? It's not easy.
We repeatedly reached out to Princess Margaret officials for their side of this story, but our calls were not returned. Hannah said when the doctors returned her child to her, the only explanation they had for the state he was in was that he lost a lot of oxygen to his brain. Since then, she says she hasn't heard anything from doctors at the hospital concerning her son. Raji's grandmother, Gloria Pitter, says this has been a burden on her family for the past 2 years. She says she suffers from fading vision, and Raji has been her help since he was younger, and now that he's blind and can barely help himself, he's depressed and she's heartbroken.
He would say to me, say, Grammy, why I in Pampers? Why can't I be a jockey like how I used to wear? Why can't I play with the children? I cannot see it, be feeling. You know what? I cannot see well. And he was for 3 years old. He would hold my hand and take me to shop because I work in the straw market to buy shit. And he'd say, my Grammy wants some T-shirts or she wants some cap, that little boy. So he used to say, my man, he'd be crying every day, Grammy, I disturb. You know this mommy told me yesterday? She said, Mommy, I feel like just running overboard. I cannot take it.
Raji is now 7 years old and has had to undergo therapy to regain strength in his legs so that he can be able to walk again. And he attends a special school for the blind where his mother says he feels out of place because he misses his old school and friends.
He goes right now to the blind school and he's not even comfortable because he used to go to St. Francis Joseph Catholic School. He feels out of place. The children at his school, they born blind. This little boy was never blind, so it's hard for him.
How you feel sometimes?
All right, I understand.
You be sad?
Sad. I understand what you have to do.
Because devil.
We understand how this thing operates.
That's why you
feel
feel
sad.
All right. Devil.
What does he say?
What did you say?
The devil.
No, tell her why you feel sad.
Sad.
Why you feel sad and cry sometimes?
Because I can't see.
And what else?
I can't walk.
You still go to therapy?
Yeah.
And that is helping sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah?
Hannah said she wants someone, public or private, to help her son as well get better again. As we said, our news team reached out to the administrative officials at the Princess Margaret Hospital, but no one responded up to news time. And in other news, Free National Movement Chairman Darren Cash says government's decision to make an essential service like private health care vatable is foolhardy and will create more of a burden on public health care, which is already stretched thin. Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis recently tabled the bill in the House of Assembly. In its current form, VAT will be applied to insurance as well.
This sense that the government is taking a foolhardy approach of diverting traffic from the private healthcare into the public healthcare system at a time when everybody understands that the public healthcare system is already significantly overburdened, and one would have thought that the more prudent step to take would have been to promote utilization of the private healthcare sector to a greater degree, and to do that by helping to reduce the cost of healthcare as opposed to increasing it. And so the government's approach is somewhat schizophrenic, but again, Perry Christie is Prime Minister, and that is not unusual.
Cash, who said he still believes that a January 2015 implementation date is overly aggressive, added that the challenge for government will be ensuring the average Bahamian understands how that will impact him or her. He said, contrary to government's assertion otherwise, everything about this bill is pointing to double taxation.
The most important thing, of course, will be that people have to educate themselves. That means the government has to put the information out there in easily readable and understandable form so that the average Bahamian is going to be able to pick up a piece of paper, watch something on television, hear something on radio, and understand in very precise terms what it's going to mean for them. And to the extent that that can be translated into specific dollar terms, that will go a long way. At the moment, what is it that people understand? They understand that foodstuffs are going to be more expensive. They understand that healthcare is going to be more expensive. They understand that BEC bills are going to be more expensive. That's the clip, that's the short version that people understand.
The F&M chairman said government is being lazy in trying to fix the economy by raising taxes on the poor rather than making difficult decisions to reduce spending.
The things that require courage involve making a determination to spend less money on bloated projects, overpriced projects, jobs for the boys. The thing that requires courage is making a determination to prevent your friends, families, and lovers from abusing the tax system by not paying their electricity bills, by not paying national insurance. And because they don't pay, the government has no choice but to take it out on the poor man. That's what this is all about.
And Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says as a result of air conditioning issues, the Thompson Boulevard Passport Office will not open until around 10 a.m. or later tomorrow. Mitchell told our news team today that this issue may cause further delays in the delivery of passport services and that those delays are unavoidable. He says at the moment the Passport Office and Department of Immigration are resource challenged and are unable to meet the demands of the public for a timely service on many fronts. He adds that unfortunately this will continue for some time into the foreseeable future. Mitchell says they can only do what they can and that they have to live within their means until they can do better. The minister again urges passport applicants to apply early as the processing time for passports is now 8 weeks.